Peace, peace, y'all. It's your girl B from B&ROSE here. Welcome to the B&ROSE Vision. This space has been activated to support the B&ROSE values and objectives, which are art, intuition, reverie, create beauty, truth and love, and most importantly, relationship to self, deepening the relationship to self through reflection, through introspection, through reaffirmation. Um, so thank you for accepting my invitation by being here, sharing with me your time, your energy. While you're here, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff keeps creators like myself in this space. And we like it here. We building over here. All right? All right. So before I get into the collective energy reading, for which I am also here, I wanted to share a bit of info, a little new info, a little deets about the upcoming heart project out of B&ROSE, which is Daydreams About Night Things, Volume 2. All right. If you know me, if you don't, hi again, I'm B from B&ROSE, and symbolism is my love language. It is imperative to finding the meaning within words, within time, within things. Okay, so I love symbolism, and it was also very important to me to continue the emerging pattern started with Daydreams About Night Things Volume 1 and honoring the celestial turning points, which are a huge part of my beliefs and my own edification. So Daydreams About Night Things Volume 1 was released April 2024 during the solar eclipse. And eclipses are all about uncovering, revealing, and illuminating what was previously unseen. So I felt like at that time was a great time to release a new book. It was very fitting for that, a new beginning. And what I didn't quite understand at the time is that it was a doorway to Daydreams About Night Things Volume 2, okay? I wasn't ready. I wasn't seeing the vision, but I still have more to say. So, as I was completing Daydreams About Night Things Volume 2, I started reflecting on what the work was asking from me, what this collection wanted from me. And it definitely wasn't emergence because it could not be rushed. It was not going to be rushed. But it was definitely asking me to remember. I'll say that. So, with that, Daydreams About Night Things Volume 2 will be released June 29th of 2026. It's in a few weeks here, and the beginning of Mercury retrograde. For many, Mercury retrograde is problematic. It represents disruption. But I've been able to see the deeper meaning within it, of revisiting, taking another look at what we may have buried. And while we're in that state of revisiting and remembering, taking a second look and also releasing. So this is very significant for me. And again, I cannot wait to share this project with you all, this collection with you all. As we get closer to the release date, I'll post more about how you can get your hands on a copy and some more history, background, some more symbolism on this project. So if you're not following B&ROSE over on Instagram, why not? I mean, you follow, listen, don't get me talking crazy on this thing. But if you're not following B&ROSE over on Instagram, you should. at View B&ROSE. That's at VIEW, the letter B, ROSE, like the flower. You already know. All right, so let's get into our collective energy rating. So I've already shuffled cards here. I'm going to give them one more shuffle and we'll get into the energy that the collective could be stepping on. June. I honor the new moons as the beginning of the month, but in this last week or so of the start of June has been very initiatory. I already saw that coming. I think I mentioned in the last video where there's been like a lot of celestial activity and a lot of, you know, how do I want to say this? A lot of things being shared and released. Maybe a lot of you are being initiated in whatever your spiritual practice may be. You may be learning more. You may be having, during your meditations, you may be, a lot more has been revealed to you. For whoever's watching this, remember, the energy's not yours. Don't take it, leave it for someone else. If it applies, then it applies, right? If not, no harm, no foul. So, just gonna check the oracle messages here, just see what the tone for the collective has been and what we can share and what we can discuss about going into this new week in spirit. What is the collective energy and message for this week? What should the collective be focusing on, be releasing, be owning into, sharpening their focus with? What messages could you share with the collective for this upcoming week? Thank you. Okay, for our oracle cards, it says, don't let the past hold you back. Don't let the past hold you back. So we'll get into some tarot here to see what the collective could be grappling with. What from the past could the collective, should the collective be in the mindset to release? On this card, these are the Moonology cards, my latest deck, which I love. I think they're so beautiful and so meaningful, is the South Node. If you're familiar with your birth chart, I would recommend that you check your South Node. And because in that rests our previous life, like, or maybe some energy that we have already outgrown or already released, a lesson that we've already accomplished in a previous life, if you would accept that. But typically your South Node is energy you've already overcome, right? And your North Node is the energy that you're needing to, to own, to control, to walk boldly in. It's your energy of this lifetime. Okay, I'm trying to, find the proper wording so that I'm not making y'all nervous with some astrological terminology here and how the birth chart is interpreted. That's not what we're here to get into for now. but the oracle message coming out was, don't let your past hold you back. And that's a strong message in itself, right? All right, so let's get into some tarot here, see if we can get just some more depth on this message. Thank you, Spirit. What energy, what is the current situation that the collective is facing that they're not able to let go of their past? Also, think about it. The new moon is approaching in probably less than 7 days. And that's the perfect time to set your intentions, release what needs to be released, right? Maybe this past full moon, which was a couple of weeks ago, revealed something to you that you need to be able to release, okay? So I'm just letting the cards speak here, and then we will interpret them. All right, so I already got a book going. So first out, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, Knight of Cups followed by the Two of Cups. So this is definitely an emotional reading. Now, I'm not sure if you watching this, if you are we are headed into Cancer season, but you could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. After that, make sure I got them in the right order here. Have the Ten of Wands, okay? Followed by the King of Cups. Okay. Followed by the Devil. So something is not what it seems here. Wow, we got it in the 6. Then followed by the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, here. So looking at this spread, this is very deep. So what I'm seeing is, with the King of Cups, with the Knight of Cups being here, there's been a new creative venture or maybe a love offering that has been presented to the collective. Knight of Cups is very charming, very following the heart, something that has been presented as a unification of love here with the Two of Cups. However, I tell people a lot of times, Night energy can be very tricky. That's my interpretation of tarot, okay? Because from the Knight of Cups to the Two of Cups, saying there may have been a new romantic or a new business venture, maybe a passion project. But what I'm getting with the Knight of Cups, this is definitely a love offering that maybe led to a relationship or a unification of some sort. Yeah, relationship. There was a mutual attraction here. With the Knight of Cups, there, like I said, that's Prince Charming, that's Princess Charming, that's someone that is not only beautiful, but maybe they have some creative aspects that the collective finds attractive. It may not just be about their looks. It may be about how charming they are. It may be about their personality. Maybe about how they presented an opportunity for a relationship to you, right? And so with that, you guys were able to come together here. But with the Ten of Wands being here, this is showing that that relationship started to be a bit complex, right? Because with the Ten of Wands in this sequence, this is energy of doing all the work, right? This is an energy of carrying more than you should. The person in this card is holding so much weight from the wands that he's not even able to see in front of him. He's just, wandering out in the field, picking up sticks and trying to complete something. He's doing the work, right? Obviously, but it's not easy. It's becoming burdensome to them. And maybe, and what I'm getting here is that the collective, what may have started as, I don't want to say it was a good time, because this was a meeting of minds. It was definitely a mutual attraction here. It may have been a serious relationship, because we have the King of Cups, which could also be refer back to this night, right? That can still, at first it started off, this could also represent the time that's passed with this connection, with this relationship. Maybe you guys have been down for some months, some years, or whatever, because what started off as a young love, a new thing, has grown into, it has matured, it has maturation. This is someone you deeply love. But we have the devil here, which is, this is definitely some destructive behavior. Maybe what you see as your King of Cups has something going on beneath the surface. You know how sometimes you're in a relationship or you meet someone new and you're like, everything is good, but if it wasn't, I like this about him or her, except, there's just one thing I can't get over. There's just something about something. There's just something about, that relationship, that past relationship. They're still friends with their ex, and I just get a feeling about it. It doesn't seem like it's, that it's, that the relationship has been completely severed and closed off, or, they still haven't, they have children that they're not, active in their lives. I'm just thinking of certain things that could be like, okay, things could be good with us, but there's something that's keeping, there's something underneath the shadows. You're good to me when you're with me, I have your attention, but, sometimes I can't get you on the phone, and I'm like, where what's going on with you? You know what I'm saying? You've been doing good, you got your own place, but I haven't seen you go to work. Like, what? Just things like that. Like, there's just something about that connection that's keeping you from being able to fully lock in, even though they're presenting themselves as, this King of Cups energy, which is that emotionally well balanced, and also supportive. They're very empathetic towards your needs. They're very supportive of what you have going on in your life, which would be cool. There's nothing to complain about with that. To me, that's kind of like the basics that you would expect from a genuine connection, from one that would put you in a unification or a mutual love type of energy. But that devil showing up here says that there's more to that story. And so with the eight of coins being here, this could be, I don't want to, like I said, I don't know the specifics of your situation, but this could possibly be asking you to be practical. Eight of Pentacles understands that work has to be done, right? Even if it's repetitive, even if it's mundane, it still brings results, right? Because he's still building, he's still manifesting, he's still accumulating, and he's working with his head down. He's like, I'm focused, right? So where this fits could be either you level up your standards, you focus on your passion, you lock in on, you know, what you want your future to look like, what you're building your future out to be, right? Because this person is working on their resources. You see how the energy of this spread goes from emotional, you know, an emotional energy to, okay, things are getting hard here with this 10 of Wands. And this 10 of Wands is meaning that this is happening in the physical realm. So it's not just seeing things with rose-colored lenses. It's also realizing that there's real hard work here, real effort having to be put in to kind of overlook what's been, you know, made maybe not so clear, right? Maybe there hasn't been any clarity here with this, because when you think about the Devil card and this spread, you know, you see that there are two people chained here, but what they don't realize is that they have the capability to free themselves. So it's either you allow, you know, your intuition telling you something's not right, you ignore it, or you decide to act on that. And maybe you're still trying to figure that part out. But while you're doing that, this card is already telling you to not relinquish your goals, or, you know, whatever it is that you're already developing, whatever skill that you're developing for this connection. And that does kind of bring us to, you know, not letting your past hold you back. Maybe this, like I said, with the Knight of Cups growing into the King of Cups, that is symbolic of a relationship that has matured, right? What started off as new love has now grown into something more potent, and maybe it's run its course. But until maybe you're still trying to figure that out, the fact that I'm experiencing some uncertainty with how I want to convey this message could mean you're still not sure about what you want to do with this relationship. But given the oracle message here is saying to you, if it's the past, if it's something that began in the past, it's in the past, don't let it hold you back, because you are already working on building something that is sustainable, whether that will lead you to a new relationship, something that's more fulfilling, period, whether it is a relationship or not, relationship to self. You know, that's what B&ROSE is all about, deepening that relationship. At the bottom of the deck, we have the moon. So the moon being here says that there is a mystery here, but it will be revealed. When you think about the moon card, think about the new moon, where things could still be hidden while you're still trying to figure out what it is. The full moon is that illumination, is that revelation. It's going to show you exactly what you need to see, and then how will you be prepared to act on it. So we have the Four of Swords here. Okay, so the Four of Swords here is already in a state of recuperation, of renewal. So what I'm getting is it will be revealed to you what it is that's keeping you from feeling like, you know, there's something I don't trust about this situation. There's something going on. Something is up. My intuition is telling me something's a little off, right? And by the time this moon energy reaches you, you already, you know, it looks like you'll already be in a point of acceptance, of just being like, you know what, I knew it was something, and, you know, I'm not gonna act a fool about it. It is what it is. I'm already in a point of protecting my mental and protecting my heart, and I'm just gonna let that be what it is. All right, so I think I'm gonna leave a message here. Let's see what we have at the bottom of the deck of the oracle cards. Look at this. It says, a personal issue reaches resolution. a personal issue reaches resolution, and this is the full moon, and it says full moon in Cancer, which definitely relates us back to that moon card showing up in our tarot message here. So I'm gonna go ahead and say by the full moon, if not by this new moon in the next 7 days, but definitely by the full moon, you're gonna know, you're gonna see what you need to see, you're gonna know what you need to know, and giving that Four of Swords there, you're already, you know, it's just gonna be like putting 2 and 2 together for you, you know, and so you're already working towards developing your skills, toward manifesting the life that you desire. And so bye-bye what's not serving your highest good, period. Don't let your past hold you back, period. All right, so I'll talk to you soon. All right, peace. Get out of here.